Okay, we're looking at another Japanese black pine, and this will be one of two that we're going to do for this chapter. This one is just barely past 10 years, I think. It's not one of the old ones, but it also needs pruning, so I'm going to kind of speed along and prune it. Well, I guess I should go inside and see where my apex is supposed to go. So it goes this way, and then there's a big branch that came on that should have been removed a long time ago. Okay, now still going up, still need the apex. Probably come back this way, so let's go ahead and take that one off. And this one is too big for being in the place. And okay, let's continue. I just had a couple of customers. Well, you know, today it was raining pretty good, so I figured nobody will come, so I started the videos. Well, it cleared up. So anyway, I'm back, but now I got to stay focused. So I think we're going to stay with our apex coming up this way, right? That's probably our front. And there's a big one and a smaller one. But once again, I'm going to take the big one off because I think the smaller one has a better line and it'll definitely help with a taper. So don't be afraid to take the big ones off. Okay, and then we go up this way. Almost always take the center candle. So now it's either going this way or this way. And based on that, it's almost an even call. I think I'll go with this one. And then there's a side branch there, so that's good. Then we'll have to move down. Okay, there's a mass of branches, and I think this one is redundant. So hopefully I'm not making a major mistake. Oh yeah, this was our original branch, so I'll cut that. Almost every one of these that's going up gets removed. You know, I was talking about those multiple pruning techniques. I still can't figure out what they all are. Nor have I actually seen it written nice and clear. Actually, there was one book that talked about 12 techniques that was nicely written in English, but I couldn't figure that out either. I think what it is very difficult. Okay, now let me change the camera angle. Okay, right now we got this branch that's going like that. Very straight in here. So I'm thinking of cutting it to here. Or maybe this way you could see better. See how this one is very straight? And I'm going to cut it here and use this as the future. Well, that took a big chunk out. Okay, and I think for the future it would be better because it's going flat that way, and I should get this area cleaned up. Okay, so this is one of the two that I'm going to do for this chapter. I think coming around, I think is the front. I think the front is just about here. But it's got a long ways to go. Probably good 5-7 years. And then maybe ready. But you can see that it has a decent root flare, movement, and taper. We could still use a little bit on top, and definitely need to work the branches. So that's why I'm giving it 5 to 7 more years before this is ready to go into a bonsai pot. Unless you're one of those impatient people that put it in bonsai pot. But this is the way I usually look at it. 20 years of prep and then goes in a bonsai pot. Okay, this is the second of the 2 for this chapter. It's still the Japanese black pine. So, can you see the basic line? Well, I think this one's going to be a little bit easier. Well, let me just get in there. Maybe it's not as easy, but it looks like it might be easier than the others. So basically, I'm looking at these that's going up. Basically, just removing these, right? And then this one came way deep. Look how strong these are. If you let those go, they end up being competition for the apex. Just think of all these branches. They want to be the big kahuna. And so they try to grow taller. So you gotta learn to control, and you let the one you want to be the leader. But I think on these plants, all these little branches, they all want to be the leader. So they start shooting up. But you can see I'm just removing these. This is more horizontal, so we'll keep that one. And oh, this one came all the way from the bottom here, so we don't need this at all. I've said this many a time. This is one of the most difficult things for me to teach. So I'm just going to do a bunch, and hopefully you'll get the idea of why I do what I do. I try to explain, but some of this becomes so automatic that I do it and without even thinking about it. Up here, this wants to be, well, wait a minute, I better take my time. We got the apex again, so let me change the camera angle and let's decide which one is the true apex. Okay, we look at this. I think we're looking at the front. So now let's decide where our apex is going to be. Okay, up here, it kind of goes this way and goes that way. And based on this being the front, I think it's probably better to go this way rather than going up this way. Well, I'm making that assumption, and now it's too late to turn back. Go this way. I don't like this big center one, so I'm going to take that off. Remember, we were talking that pines are top growers. So even these little ones will pick up energy right away. And I'll take this other big one, because this one will regain vigor, and the other big one had too long of a distance in here. So this one will stay tight, and it'll stay tight. Now this one has to become a side branch, so we'll take the tip off. So this is our new line. This is side branch. And then it's just a matter of touching up the rest. Okay, I think the second one is done for today. It's not finished. It's going to take a number of years yet, but the basic, we have our roof flare, movement, and taper. I could use a little bit better, but it's not bad. But in the next 5 to 7 years, it should look fine. So this chapter, we looked at 2, and these were relatively young. They're just barely past 10 years, I think. And so there are going to be a number more years before they'll become suitable to become a bonsai in a bonsai pot. So anyway, I'm going to call these 2 pine tree project done, and I'll see you again in another chapter real soon. So I guess you could say these sort of the mid-grade. 10 years is not much for a black pine. And I say 10 more years and it should be pretty good. Okay, see you again real soon. And let's just go ahead and wait for the front to come. And the front is just about here. That one in the upper part, that I think is going to come off in the future.